Well, good morning, everyone. It's George Bayruthi here for the market report for Monday morning, the 1st of May 2023. We woke up on Saturday morning to find the Dow Jones was up 272 points, or 0.8%. The S&P 500 was also 0.8% up, and the Nasdaq 0.7% up. Tesla in New York was up nearly 2.6%, or $4.12, and Apple was also up by 0.8%, or $1.27. $164.31 for Tesla, and Apple $169.68 for Apple. BHP was down 0.03%, almost 2 cents down in New York, and Rio was up 29 cents or 0.5%. In Europe, the Stoxx 50 index, which comprises most major European markets, was steady, only up 0.03%. You can see here the FTSE in London, steady, 0.5% up. The CAC in France, 0.1% up. And the DAX in Germany, 0.8% up. The futures indicate most likely the market today will open 80 points higher, or 1%. And the S&P 500 on Friday, on Friday was actually 16 points up, or 0.2%. Gold this morning was trading at $1,990.06, that's US dollars per ounce, and silver was up 12.1 cents to $25.33 US per ounce. Brent 2.6% up, and West Texas crude oil 2.5% up. Iron ore price 0.7% up to $117.60 US per ton. The Australian dollar trading at 66.1 US cents. As a matter of interest, the 10-year yield in America was steady. However, the 10-year yield in Australia dropped quite a bit, nearly 3.4%. We are now below their US 10-year yield. What does that tell you? It tells you that most likely the Reserve Bank of Australia tomorrow would probably keep the interest rate on hold. Bitcoin trading at 29,300, and that converts to that's US, and that converts to approximately 44,300 Australian dollars. Remember, the highest level in Australian dollars was 88,900, dropping to 23,700 about 6 to 8 months ago, and recovered almost doubling the price at least, or close enough to it. All right, let's have a look at the big picture. The 3-week wrap up. Here we find that the Dow over the last 3 weeks was up 1.8%. The S&P 500 up 1.6%, and the Nasdaq up 1.2%. Our market in Australia was also up 1.25% over the last 3 weeks. Okay, remember there was a drop last week and a slight drop 2 weeks ago, but a major rise 3 weeks ago that puts it all together as higher by 1.25%. Over the month, our ASX 200 is up 1.8%. However, over the year, we're still down 1.7%. Gold over 3 weeks was down $21.60. That's US per ounce. And silver was up 27 cents over 3 weeks, or 1%. Copper The global economic barometer, which indicate the activities around the world, was down 3%, and Brent down 6.6%, and West Texas crude down 5%. As a matter of interest, over the year, Brent is down 21% and also 21% for the crude oil, West Texas. And gold, despite the rise and fall, over the year, we're still up 4.2%. Soybeans down 5% over the last 3 weeks. And wheat down 7% and corn down 9%. Alright, let's go further up. Advances and decline. Here we can see that for 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 days, 7 out of 8 days, the declines exceeded advances. Only on Friday, we find that the advances exceeded declines. When you put the 5 days collectively together, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, where the decline exceed advances, and you may say at least another 5 or close enough to 5 where the advances exceeded the declines. Where are they? 1, 2, 3, 4, actually 4, and 1 is actually steady if you count that as being up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, say 4 up, 4 the advances exceeding the decline, and 1 week, 5 days collective, happen to be steady. Alright, let's move forward. Now let's have a look at our trading portfolio. Over the 1 week, we find that the ASX 200 was up 0.2%, but we've actually outperformed the market across the 4 portfolios, because you can see that our conservative portfolio was up 0.8%, aggressive portfolio nearly 3%, 2% for the momentum, and the volume up 1.24%. However, when you go back to see when we started to trade on the 7th of July, remember we closed all our positions before the end of June. We intend to do that by the end of June this year as well, to wrap up the 4 portfolios. And we find that since the 7th of July 22, when we started to trade again, the ASX 200, that's the market gauge, was up 10%, but we actually did well for the conservative, but not as well for the other 3 portfolios. We found the aggressive was up 1.4%, the volume based 5.6%, and the momentum nearly 0.9%, while the overall market was up 9%. So the conservative portfolio did extremely well, exceeding the performance of the total market. Now that you can see the changes from 1 week to another. This is actually 1 day on Friday when the market shut. But over 1 week, we were down 1.9%. We have to check those figures. But anyway, you can see that over 3 weeks, actually over 4 weeks, the overall market was up 5.3%, and the aggressive was up 6.8%, and we did slightly worse for the other 2 portfolios, the volume and the momentum. Now you may ask, what have we traded in those stocks? Here we have in the conservative portfolio, we are doing very well with mineral resources and Whitehaven Coal and BHP. In the aggressive, Appen is giving us 15%, Coronado 16%, and Sayona 16%. We're not doing too well with Lake Resources. Lake Resources trading at 42.5 cents last. However, the fair value is supposed to be 75 cents. So that's why we're probably going to hang on to it. All right, let's move on. Okay, now let's have a look at the volume-based portfolio. On the weekly, that's week on week, we find that Mervac over the week was up 6.6%, and the volume over the week was 90.3 million versus a 50-day volume average, moving average of 58 million, trading at $2.41, up from $2.26. However, the fair value is only $2.55, which tells me that we are almost close to it. Very little extra fair value over the price. And the same thing with Stockland. We see that it was up 5.7%. The volume was 44.3 million over the week, when the average of a 50-week average was 35 million. And the fair value is $4.80, only slightly above the last price. Let's have a look at the daily. This is actually day over day. Here Mervac was up 3.4% on Friday. And look at the volume, 40.3 million versus 15 million, the average. And again, the fair value is only $2.55. And you can see here the fair value across these four stocks. Only 12% up for Center, $2.88, was up 1.8%. The volume is 32% higher than the average, and the fair value is $3.23 versus $2.88. Going down for the mid cap, Kogan was the price actually was slightly up, less than 1%. The volume was nearly 3 times the average, and the fair value is $7.10. And we find that Boss Energy was up 9% on Friday, and the volume was nearly 2.5 times the average, and the fair value is $5.20 or $5.16 to be actual. And we find that's nearly 96% more value than the last price. Appen also trading with 51% extra value. And the volume was nearly 60% higher than the average volume. I'm going to give you a copy. Well, to get this whole document in hard copy by email, you will have to communicate with me, and I'll give you the details on how to do that at the end of this presentation. All right, finally, we go to the most active weekly. We find Kogan over the week was nearly 25% up, and the target price is $4.28, which is below the last price, so that's not really good. Blackmore was up 21%, and the fair value again is lower. Going down here, we find that this one here, points bet, it's a gambling stock. It's trading at $1.55, was up 10.7% over the week, and the fair value is $2.43. So we still have 57% extra value above the last price. Going down the line, 177, St. Barbara was trading at 60.5 cents, and the fair value is $1.07. Again, to get a copy of this whole presentation and to be able to absorb all this information in your own free time, you'll have to communicate with me, and I'm going to give you the details on how to do that at the end of the presentation. Now, most active up daily. Megaport was up 41%, trading at $5.61, and the fair value is $7.80, 38% extra value above the last price, and I reckon the target should be $10.21, almost double this last price. Deep Yellow trading at 53.5 cents. Fair value is 82% above the last price, and the target is $1.05, and that's nearly 96% extra price target than the last price. Pilbara was up 7%, trading at $4.24. However, the fair value is $5.31. You got 25% extra value. However, the target apparently is recommended to be $4.61, which is not much higher than the last price. It's only 10% above it. Alright, well, that's about it. What you need to do is you got to call me. If you are local in Australia, you call me on 0411 259526. If you're ringing from overseas, 6161 is the country code for Australia. 61, you don't need a zero. It's 61 411 259526. You don't need the zero, as I said. 61 411 259526. You can send me an email, george@FS Securities. FS stands for full service. George@FS Securities, plural, fssecurities.com.au. Trade safely and wisely, and have a fantastic day.